especially when they, a week or they just come off stage and their body is ripped into, it's like having a second skin, and it only enhances their physique that much more. And then a lot of women love it and whatnot. I mean, I've had uh, a lot of people hit me up and say, "Hey, man, I love that gold body paint. I love that silver body paint." And so I was like, "Okay, cool. Something different. Not saying it hasn't been done because nothing's original anymore. But they just haven't done it." And it's something that they love to do. So, oh, no, I'm going to do something completely different.
Yeah, I know there's this old smoke saying, and I learned it a long time ago. I remember when I first got a computer, and I used to go on, some of these chat rooms. And back in the day, that's when you used to have dial up before it had the two way, and you had to wait till everybody's asleep because if you do it during the middle of the day, mom says, "Why the damn phone sounds so funny?" So you had to wait till she's asleep because there's a rule: anything after 10 o'clock, you better be dead in jail or something. So so I remember going to chat rooms, and there's a saying I learned. It's like, "Hey kid, you like bodybuilders?" I said, "Yeah, I like female bodybuilders." I said, "Yeah." So there's an old saying. So what's the saying? Say, when they rock hard, we're rock hard. So I think it's just the beauty of it, especially when they're and get us. We can't forget these ladies or men are on the stage. They are dehydrated. They are tired.
Yes.
They
Yes.
are. They. I remember I was watching. I interviewed a lady a while back. Her name is Jennifer Sada. She fainted at the Olympia about like 10 years ago. She was on stage at the Olympia. She fainted. And these competitors are risking their lives and their health. They
Yeah.
just have a certain look. I mean, here this is from a man, K. Ellie says, would you work with some of the men by curiosity? No Diddy. Why didn't you put No Diddy for it? I mean,
I
since
like
they
my man.
are body,
I like him. I like him. Yeah, no diddy.
yeah, since they are bodybuilders also, or strictly women just to have more of a profile. So I've seen in your profile, you do have some men, you do couples, you do men and women. I think it's about the variety, you have the variety of different aspects. I mean, you have fans of just, like I remember what Sean told me there's like a lot of fetish for muscle men, especially in the Kansai area. And then you have the
Right.
guys I think strictly who are men who like women with muscle.
You, it is. I want I want to work with more men because I want to have that diversity. You know, but most men, you know, they will be in the gym with their cell phones and take a selfie before they do a photo shoot. So um, a couple of the guys that I've worked with already, some are personal trainers. It's this one guy here. I think he's a pro. It's Hulk Smash. I think I shot him like years ago. And I'm trying to get back up with him again and everything. But I know he's in training and he's traveling. So I definitely want to get more men because the more men see that you shoot other men, not that it's you know can be taken wrong, but it's like, man, yo, you did a nice shot with old boy. I want to do something with I want to work with you. So it's not. I mean, I have I have literally reached out to male competitors, male coaches, and say, hey man, let's get together. Let's get your team together and let's do a photo shoot. Let me shoot you because the coach was in great shape, and he was like, and I'm not gonna give out no names, and he's like, I need to get a haircut. What that got to do with the photo shoot? But okay, cool, no problem. Because I don't chase anybody. I ask and whatnot. And it's like, okay, cool, not a problem. So it's. But to answer your question, I would love to work with get more men on my page. Um, yeah, definitely would love to get more men on my page.
Well, I have interviewed some guys, like, I think you're probably the fifth guy I've interviewed. I've interviewed a couple of guys who compete in the amateur level. I think it's a lot harder for me to get up with the pro guys, but I don't follow them that much.
Right.
I have Sean on here. But like I said, my challenge is about giving attention to the women because they deserve the attention because it's a lot tougher,
Yeah.
because you got to think about
Yes.
it. They don't get as much money. It costs more to be a competitor. You think about it, as an amateur, you got to pay to compete. But then as a pro, if you don't have sponsorship to go to the shows, I just talked to a young lady. Her name's Angela Nori this afternoon. Before we started, because she's going to do Toronto in a couple of days, and it's really there's a lot to this. I know it's good for your profile to have, to get guys in it, maybe get the guys saying, you know what, let me take a chance. Let me, work with this brother and see what he does. Here we got here from my man, KL. He says, he saw nice photos. Also, he says, this, he says, so she tied me up, but then again, be careful what you wish for that say it. Also, he says this says closed mouth, don't get fed, saying I'm going to put it in my head. I was telling him dozens of times because sometimes he's if you KL, he's more of a fan of women, not as much as a sport. Me, I'm a fan of both the women in the sport. And that's
Right.
why, when I ask questions, I don't have like a set list of questions. I just ask the stuff that's off the top of my head. I want to get more into you as a person, but also I'm a fan. I'm a minute. I'm a muscle person smoke. I'm not gonna lie about that. But it's a lot. And what you do is really you give the opportunities for people to see a different light for these, men and women who are bodybuilders, who are crossfitters, who are whatever for fitness they're in.
Yes. I mean, I'm like you. I love. I see a blank canvas, a piece of clay, and then I see how these athletes, these amazing athletes, shape, form, chisel that 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 piece of clay. How they paint their Sistine Chapel on their bodies. And to me, that is truly amazing. And so, the women, and like I said, work just as hard, if not harder, than the men. And I mean from bikini all the way up to women bodybuilders, all the way, to the OGs. And so it's like, let's celebrate them. Let's give them their flowers, you know, and shoot them and get them the recognition, and, most guys, and it's not in a sensual way, it's like, oh, no, it's in an artistic way. You know, let's capture all that hard work that they put in. Let's be artsy and creative and show off their physique. And then hopefully some of these promoters and some of these big shows, like, man, these ladies have a huge following. Maybe we need to bring these shows back. You know, or these classes back to the shows and whatnot. I mean, I know you told me about Tampa Pro, and I'm looking into going down to Tampa. You know, um, for the Tampa Pro and amateur. So it's like, and I don't even have anybody to shoot. I mean, if I go, I will start, advertising the shoot, and I know Amanda's there,
Yeah.
and I shot her before, but I just want to go and experience and get caught up in the awe, and it's like, yeah, yeah, this is it. I'll be like, this is why I love it. Yeah.
Come on, run a train, ride in. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, Amanda is a great person. We've been friends on Facebook for a long time. I interviewed her. We met when she was down here for Glenn's magazine debut. I mean, she's a lovely lady. Congratulations on finally getting her pro card. She was in the
Yes.
trenches for a
Yes.
long time. And I think there's some ladies, I don't know if I know some ladies who actually follow my channel and maybe they might be interested because Tampa's one of the biggest shows and one of the few shows, as you know, Tim Gardner, he promotes that show. One of the few shows that still have women's bodybuilding. As you know, and this is my favorite quote from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, when Ra's al Ghul told Bruce Wayne, says, "The order to take of an enemy, you walk quietly behind him and stab him in the heart." And that's how I believe did to women's bodybuilding, and it's even starting to do with to physique. Like good examples like the Arnold, the Arnold, the Arnold. They used to have the women's of that down in